Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be reacting to my 24 books you need to read in 2024, and I'm not super excited about this because I don't know what's on this list like at all. Like zero whatsoever, no clue. This could be like a ton of old books and it's gonna be awful, or it could be like a bunch of new stuff and I read mostly new stuff and it could still be awful. I have no idea what's on this list. I do want to say like the Riley Sager was on this list. I want to say that the Simone St. James might have been on here, Murder Road. But other than that, I have no idea what is on this list. I made this so long ago. So we're just going to do a quick reaction video and we're going to keep track of what I actually read and what I didn't read. And because this year was so many DNFs, I feel like I doubt there's any DNFs on this list. Like I feel like if these are books that I really wanted to read, I doubt there are any DNFs. But just in case, we're going to also have a DNF. Like, hopefully it's zero. Hopefully it's zero. Hopefully I read every single one of these and they were amazing. So yeah, we're just gonna get into it. I'm pretty sure I had some honorable mentions at the beginning of this one, like more like a situation of I wasn't sure about the release dates. So I think I have that on here. I didn't do that for 2025 because that was annoying, but I think I put some of that on here. So let's go quickly through those first.
Obviously, Heartstopper 6.
That did not
Heartstopper 6.
come out
I don't
this
know
year.
if that's coming out in 2025,
That did not come
but
out
it
this
does
year.
have like. And then we also have How to Make a Horror Movie and Survive. This does have a cover, but it does not have a.
That's an interesting choice. Why did I put that on here? That's such a weird choice, especially because I did not like episode 13. Like, I thought it was actually really bad. I don't know why that's on here. I did think about reading it a couple times. I actually checked it out from the library, but I just, like, wasn't interested after not liking episode 13 so much. So that's a really odd honorable mention on here. Again, we have talked about it before, but Past Me is super weird. Like, she does not think about things.
First three books that I want to read for 2024 are the Crescent City books. So the third book is coming out next year.
I did read those. I read all three last year, which is actually amazing and kind of shocking. But I really wanted to catch up in the Sarah J. Maas world so that the second that ACOTAR 6 or whatever the hell is coming out in that series world, whatever, I can just read it right away. And Crescent City was literally the only holdup. I read Throne of Glass a while ago. And then same with ACOTAR. I read ACOTAR a while ago. I'm caught up on those as well. So Crescent City was literally the last one. And it is the worst. It is the worst. So I'm glad I read them. So that's three so far. Three for three so far, which is awesome.
And next we have The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. Do I know what this book is about? No.
Yeah, we read that. We read that actually, was it for the book club? I can't remember if it was for the, I think it was for the book club. Was it? I can't remember. I literally just did a tier ranking and just edited that. And I cannot remember if it was for the book club. I think it was. Even if it wasn't, I did read it. It was fine. I think I give it a 4-star. It's probably more of a 3.5, but I really like the ending of that book. But yeah, this one makes sense. The Crescent City books and The Familiar so far, this makes sense to actually read 24 books in 2024, unlike some of the honorable mentions.
Anyway, next we have Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This looks like it's gonna be.
Okay, this was my number 2 favorite book of the year. So yes, I obviously did read it. I actually have a whole vlog dedicated just to reading that book. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I think it's the best Ali Hazelwood book yet. I don't even like Omegaverse, and I loved this book. So that is saying something, I feel like. So yeah, I definitely read that. So we are 5 for 5 so far. This is where I'm going to start losing track of things because I can only count so high in my head.
The next is The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. This is
yes, we did read this. Yes, we did. This again also has like a book review because I thought this was a really strange duology and how it was done. But I read pretty much everything that Holly Black writes. I haven't read her like middle grade stuff yet, but I have read everything else. And this one was fine. I think I give it a 4-star as well. It was fine. This duology was fine. I personally don't think it super needed to exist. Like, I would rather do something with Jude and Cardan instead of Jude's younger brother Oak. Like, I just really wasn't interested in the characters that much, but I still felt like it was a good story and it was nice to be back in Elfhame. So,
and of course we have the new Riley Sager that was announced, what is it, middle of the night?
Yeah, we read that, I think for book club, yes, because we read the Riley Sager books for book club. 3-star, it was fine. It was super mid. This is probably my second to least favorite Riley Sager, because my least favorite is a lot of people's favorite, which is Lock Every Door. I actually really don't like Lock Every Door. I actually really like Survive the Night, so take what I think about Riley Sager books with a grain of salt, because yeah. But this one is mid. Like, most people really did not like this one. It was just kind of super boring, so was not a fan of that.
Of course, we have one that I am so excited about. What Feasts at Night?
Okay, read it, and it was on my most disappointed list. You couldn't tell I was very excited to read it. It was a 3.5. It just needed to be longer. It was one of those like novellas that normally you're like, oh my gosh, I love novellas, because I normally love horror novellas. This one was so short that it couldn't like really get you into this really interesting story. So yeah, it really just needed to be longer, but I did read it and I did enjoy it. Oh, I'm looking at this and looking at there. I'm watching it just on the other side of my screen, so you guys don't see me actually watching it, because it would be kind of funny. Like, that would be too much. That would be too much. But I have it like shoved over so you can only see like the blank screen. Okay, next up.
This one is Murder Road by Simone St. James. I have my fingers crossed.
Yeah, your fingers are crossed, but no. No. It's really bad. It's really bad. Like, shockingly bad. I think it might be even worse than the Book of Cold Cases. I'm not sure. I think Murder Road was more entertaining than Book of Cold Cases. Book of Cold Cases was really boring, but the writing was way better in Book of Cold Cases. So it depends what you would prefer. If you want something more entertaining, go Murder Road, I guess. If you want something with better writing, I would go Book of Cold Cases. But either way, not great. Like, really, really not great. But again, I did read it.
The next one is Wisteria by Adeline Grace. I have not
Yes, we also did read this.
yet.
Okay, this is going way better than I thought it would. And yeah, I said in this, I hadn't finished Foxglove yet. So I think I read Foxglove this in 2024 too. But I read Wisteria, and it was also on my most disappointed list. This sucks. Like, this sucks. But it was just weird. It was really weird. It was really, really weird how Adeline Grace decided to write this book, because it was not following our main characters from the first two books, and it didn't wrap up the original main character story very well. He is supposed to be coming out with a novella this year, so I'm hoping it focuses on those original main characters instead of the new main character in the third book. It's such a strange way to do that.
Speaking of ends of series, All This Twisted Glory by...
Okay. Yeah, I DNF'd this because I was already not feeling the second book. And then, like I said there, it was supposed to be the trilogy. It was supposed to be the last book in the series. And then it was announced that it's going to have more books. Like, I think 2 more. Like, I think it's now like a 5-book series instead of 3. And I was like, no, absolutely not. So this actually is a DNF. So I did end up needing that little DNF column that I have.
Another one that I'm so excited about is Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes. I absolutely...
My first not read. Okay, I have not read this book. I have it on audiobook, and I'm really excited, but when I was about to like go start to read it, everyone says it was like not good at all compared to the first book, Dead Silence, which I really liked. I gave that one a 4 stars. So now I got really, really nervous to read this book because I was so highly anticipating it, so I just didn't. So maybe Winterween is supposed to be this weekend, I think. So maybe I'll read this for Winterween, but I'm not really in a horror mood, like, at all.
Second in a series, we have Hearts That Cut by Kika Hatz.
Read it. I did read it. It was not very good. I think this was in... I don't remember if this was in Worst Books. I know it was in Most Disappointed. I don't think it's in Worst Books, but this was not good. This was an awful sequel, and it's most disappointing because that first book was so good, and it's such an interesting fantasy series. And then you have this. Like, this was so bad. Like, the second book could have been so cool, but this series, like, took a major nosedive after the first book.
Next two are also part of a series. I read Defy the Night earlier this year and absolutely loved it. And one of my subscribers was kind enough to send me Defend the Dawn, and I keep putting off reading it because I'm nervous.
Yes, I put it off for a really long time.
Defy the Night, because I love Defy the Night so much. So the next two are Defend the Dawn and Destroy the Day, which are the next two in...
Yeah, so I did read both of those, and they were great. Like, they were awesome. They're actually sitting up on my favorite shelf up there. They were so much fun. They were so much better than the A Curse So Dark and Lonely series. That series was so bad. The first book was amazing, and then books 2 and 3 were absolutely terrible. She learned from what she did wrong in that series, because most people thought the rest of that series was bad. So she took to heart what people did not like about that series and did not do it again. And this series is so good. It's so entertaining. It's so interesting. I would highly recommend this fantasy trilogy, and it's finished. So it is a finished series. You can read all of them right now. But yeah, that adds another 2 to the read pile. So this is going so well. Even if the rest of these are unread, it's been great.
And then of course, probably potentially,
oh no,
my most anticipated is Empire of the Damned.
I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. I have not read this. This is so beyond intimidating to pick up. You have to be in such a good, strong reading headspace to pick up a book like this. I feel like it's a similar situation if you want to pick up a big Brandon Sanderson book. You just have to be in the right headspace for it. And I'm not. I haven't been in a year. And so no, this isn't happening for a while. Like, I still can't imagine picking this book up. So, yeah, no, definitely haven't read it. I do want to get to it this year, but I purposely did not put it on my 25 of 2025 because I'm not an idiot like 2024 me was.
Is The Good, the Bad, and the Antis. This is the third book in the Dal Avery.
I did read this. This is the final book in the trilogy. This one is arguably the worst. It's still a fun time. I actually read Jesse Q. Sutanto's Cozy Mystery, those kind of books with my mom. So we read this entire series together, and then we've already read the first Vera Wong's when it came out, and we're going to be reading the second Vera Wong's together. We just really enjoy these stories. They're so much fun. So we read those together, and then we do read some thriller mysteries together, which is fun. So yes, did read this. I gave it like a 3. It was fine. I think my mom gave it like a 3 too. So we had a fun time with it, and we both read it. Okay, so I am skipping one here because it's actually going to be out of 23 books. I actually put one on here that did not end up coming out. So Talia Hibbert, it had a release date of 2024 Skybriar, but it did not come out. Haven't heard anything about it. So that one I am dismissing from the thing. I should have just put it on my honorable mentions, but it had a release date, so I was like sure it was gonna come out. But yeah, so that one did not end up coming out. So this is a video out of 23, not 24.
This is probably my most anticipated. It's very close with Empire of the Damned, but it is Tales of the Celestial Kingdom.
Okay, yes, this was on, I think this was honorable mentions in my best video. Yes, did read this. This was so worth all the hype. I tried to get an early copy of this so badly. Like, I was fighting for my life trying to find an early copy of this. I couldn't find it. I got it the day that it came out. I have 2 copies now because I pre-ordered one from Fairy Loot to match my Daughter of the Moon Goddess editions. And then the day this came out, I went to the store and picked it up. And I have an American edition, which I want American copies of Daughter of the Moon Goddess and Heart of Sun Warrior because they're stunning. Like, they're all stunning. But yeah, so I have this, and it was so good. It got a 5-star. Absolutely loved it. Very easy 5-star.
Then we have one that I'm pretty excited about only because I've liked everything else this author has done. It is ASAP by Axio. I love it.
I did read this. Oh my gosh. Okay, I did read this. Axio is one of those, like, I'm so excited because they're actually coming out with another book in 2025, which I've requested an ARC of. Haven't heard back from, but I'm hoping to get it. But I have enjoyed everything that Axio has done. The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, it's like a 4.5. It's on my favorite shelf. XOXO was such a fun romance, contemporary, young adult novel. And then ASAP is the follow-up to XOXO. It was so good. I actually did get an ARC of this one. And it was just so much fun and so cute and such a good continuation off of XOXO. So if you want something cutesy and just like a good time, like chill time, I think I gave this a 4 as well. I would definitely recommend XOXO and ASAP. So this is a crazy pull. Like, I'm surprised that I read this. Like, this is like one of those that kind of like would go under the radar and be like, oh crap, I forgot about that one. But no. And I think that's because I got an ARC of it and I was trying to catch up on all my ARCs.
And then we have Frida McFadden's new book, The Housemaid is Watching. I know.
Yes, we did read this. Okay, so I like this series, and I read a lot of thriller mysteries, and I like this series. This is another series my mom and I read together. So we're currently reading The Boyfriend together, which is interesting. We read the whole Housemaid series together, and we both really enjoyed them. I liked this final book. I gave it a 4-star. I thought it was really enjoyable. I liked the time jump. A lot of people did not and thought this was her weakest book, but I actually really liked it. I would put it on par with the first book. I had a really good time with this one. I actually still like the second book the best, which I feel like is a crazy take, but I really liked the second one.
And then we have my nemesis. Finally, the ending to this trilogy. I don't know why I haven't DNF'd it, but it's like this stubbornness inside of me that I cannot give give up on it, even though I know I'm not gonna like the book. It is the new Stephen Graham Jones, The Angel of Indian Lake. It is the next book.
We DNF'd this. We did DNF this. We finally DNF'd it. Like I said in this, I could not give up on this series. Like, I could not help myself continuing this series. I don't know what it was. I think it's just because I love the premise of a main character who's obsessed with horror movies and is constantly referencing them because I love horror movies. But I don't like his writing. I have yet to like anything that Stephen Graham Jones has done. And finally, I started reading this book and I was like, why am I doing this to myself? I'm not going to enjoy this book. I'm already not enjoying this book a chapter in. No, we're not doing this anymore. So I did actually DNF The Angel of Indian Lake, and I'm so proud of myself. And I feel like she would be very proud of me.
On to our last two, we have More Than This by Crystal Marquise. This is the second book in the Davenport series.
Oh man, okay, this is a sad one. Yeah, I DNF'd this one. We did try this. I had an arc of it. I was really sad about DNFing this one, but everything that I liked about the first book was not really done in a good way in the second book. It was much more heavily historical fiction than historical romance, and I have a lot of issues with historical fiction. I lose interest. I'm just not interested in it. And I thought the mix of historical romance and historical fiction was really, really good in the first book, with definitely leaning more historical romance. This one leaned much heavier historical fiction, and I just wasn't interested in it. I got really bored really fast. I think I DNF'd it like 100 pages in. It just wasn't what I was hoping from the sequel. So this one was really disappointing.
We have our very last book, which is The Wilds by Sarah Pearse.
Hey, we did read this. Okay. Yes, so our final book, I did read this one as well. This went so well. Like, here are stat things that we did. Yeah, this went super well. I think we only had 2 unread books, if I'm remembering correctly. It might be 3, I don't remember. And 3 DNFs. That's crazy. And remember, it's out of 23, not 24. The Wilds, I did read. This was a series that I also read with my mom. I gave my mom The Sanatorium after I read it. She enjoyed it, so we read The Retreat together, and then we read The Wilds together, and that is the conclusion of this trilogy for this character. And they're just kind of fun books. Like, they're not that good. Like, we've had issues with every single one of them, but reading them as a buddy read is actually really fun because they're kind of wild. Like, they're actually kind of insane, some of the stuff that happens in them. So if you do have an interest in reading these 3 books, I would definitely buddy read them, find someone else who also wants to read them, and do like a chapter thing. Like how my mom and I read is she reads, I wouldn't say she reads slower than me. She just reads less than me. She reads, like she reads for like 2 hours a day or 1 hour a day, depending on what she's doing that day. And then she'll tell me what chapter she gets to, and then I'll read that night up to where she is. We'll talk about it the next morning, and then the cycle continues every day. So I would recommend, yeah, setting like a chapter thing and then talking about it because it's just crazy trying to come up with what is happening in these books. I would say The Wilds is definitely the most chill out of all of them. I think I gave it a 3.5. I actually liked it the most just because it wasn't trying too much. Like The Sanatorium and The Retreat were both super convoluted and wild. This one was chill. This one was way more chill, and I really enjoyed it. So I had a good time with that. Had a good time reading it with my mom, and I think she also gave it like a 3.5. So yeah, that was I'm trying to make sure, that was my 24 of 2024, really 23 of 2024. I'm really mad that the Talia Hibbert book didn't come out because I was really excited about that one. Yeah, it went really well. So I really hope that 2025 goes as well as me reading what I want to read, and I think it will. It's a lot of new releases and stuff that I have wanted to read. The issue is going to be probably the Colleen Hoover or the Emily Henry. So I would go recommend watching that 25 of 2025 so you can get an idea of what I'm trying to read this year. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely make sure to like it if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe so you miss any future content, and definitely go check out some of the end of year content that I've put out, including the 25 of 2025. And yeah, comment down below if you read the books that you wanted to get to in 2024, or are some of them trickling over, because I definitely had a couple that are trickling over into 2025. And yeah, that is everything that I have for you today. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.